I signed for them after the Euros, and after my first day's training, I was driving home. I was actually thinking, regretting it. What have I done? Like I walked into a circus.
It's amazing, isn't it?
How does Bruno Fernandes feel this morning when he's driving into, I don't know, where does he do the signing at Old Trafford and then go to training, or how does it work? Is he at Carrington? I don't know, but we have an actual deal. Fernandes is done. He's going to become a Man United player for an upfront fee of 55 million quid and up to 25 million in add-ons. You'll pay the add-ons because they're probably like, oh, if he wins the Champions League or World Player of the Year or something like that. How successful will this signing look in 6 months?
Successful.
On a scale of 1 to 10?
8. I'm very, very hopeful for Bruno Fernandes, actually, and I've got a theory, an elaborate theory. We all saw last night Ole Gunnar Solskjaer absolutely roaring the head off Jesse Lingard. Very un-Ole, I think it's fair to say. Who could potentially be the successor to Jesse Lingard in that number 10-ish role now that Marcus Rashford is out? It's Bruno Fernandes. I think he goes straight in the team, and people talk about what is his best position. Is he number 8? Is he number 10? I think most people would actually lean on the number 8 side of things. I'd be very interested to see him in that 10 role. Now that Marcus Rashford is injured, there is now a 10 role in Manchester United. I don't think that it does exist when he's in the team because you play 4-3-3 essentially. But now they've gone to 5 at the back, playing that Lingard in that 10 role. And is Jesse Lingard Champions League standard number 10? No, he absolutely is not.
Well, they're not a Champions League team right now. That's my next question. Out of 100, what percentage chance do Man United have of making the top 4? They're 6 points off 4th.
40%. Chance, yeah, 40% chance of making the top 4.
5-2.
Yeah, they themselves, I would put themselves and Spurs both in the same 40% bracket, and then put Chelsea at 70.
They're a good bit ahead of Spurs. Chance of making it.
Well, I don't know. I would rate Jose Mourinho as a manager more than Solskjaer. And also, I guess Spurs haven't been as... If you look at the transfer market activity, losing Christian Eriksen and then on the other side, gaining Bruno Fernandes, you would have thought that perhaps Manchester United have actually strengthened their grip. So you know what? I'm changing that. 50% for United, 30% for Spurs.
All right. Everton have rejected reports. They have rejected an offer of 100 million from Barcelona for Brazil forward Richarlison. They say he's not for sale, but that's a double negative. They're building their team around him. Should they cash in?
Well, it's not true, this whole thing. My favourite part about this whole rumour yesterday was that Everton actually rejected the offer of €100 million for Richarlison. Good player, very good player, some might say. Not worth €100 million. You take that.
Is he not now? They say 100 million, not the new 5.5 million. Thomas Kuravi, 100 million.
Yeah, it's a serious sense of football inflation, I think it's fair to say, if that is the new 5.5 million. It's not. Richarlison, if they came up with 50 million for him, you'd be thinking to yourself, right, we have a decision to be made. 100 million quid, you actually deliver him to Barcelona yourself.
Sport report that Barca are on tilt to land a fresh attacking option following Suarez's injury. We'll monitor that situation. Willian was one that was being linked. 31, 20 million quid out of contract in the summer. Chelsea might take it?
Yeah, I would have thought so. They would definitely take it. Do Barcelona take Willian?
Or do you keep him because actually he's going to fire you into the Champions League, and so the money that you make and the money that you lose balance out? Yeah,
well, I was just about to say, like, I think there's still a lot of potential with Willian. He's got another season or two left in the Premier League, I would have thought, to actually play with a team of that standard, but a team of Barcelona standard. Absolutely not a starter, but a decent squad player.
Borussia Dortmund's 19-year-old Norway striker, who's there a wet week, Erling Braut Haaland, has a release clause of 75 million. According to Bild, Haaland's agent Mino Raiola negotiated a 75 million buyout fee that will come into force after this summer's transfer window. The German outlets say the attacker sees his stint in Germany as a stepping stone. Raiola and the player's father, Alf Inge, wanted to limit the figure to 50 million, but finally agreed to settle on a higher number. Will he be sold in next January's transfer window?
This is like absolutely shameless stuff from Mino Raiola. And I don't want to blame Borussia Dortmund for being complicit in all of this. Well, actually, you know what? I don't. I'd rather take one season of Erling Haaland than no season.
One calendar year.
One calendar year.
Half a season and half a season.
Yeah, like I would take that rather than nothing at all. So actually, I take that back about Borussia Dortmund.
How much did they spend on him?
I can't remember. I'm sure you get it through. But no, the fact that you're actually saying to them, listen, this guy will not be at your club beyond next season. You do realise that we're putting this price tag on him, and he's probably worth double that.
The thing, I wonder, does the release clause set the limit for the price, or if you're PSG, do you come in and you go, oh, we'll give you 120 million? And
well, it becomes a bidding war for a talent of this magnitude.
Or does everybody just bid 75 million and they stop? Is that how that works? I don't know.
Yeah,
I wonder, like...
It'd be a great episode of Holmes under the Hammer.
But, like, everybody should just sign him for 75 million. Richarlison for 100 or Haaland for 75. What are you taking?
After careful deliberation, I think I'm leaning on Haaland's side.
Chelsea have opened talk with Napoli for Belgium forward Dries Mertens, who's 32, going away from their usual buying pattern here. Could be available for 6 million. However, he's also a potential PSG target who could replace Cavani. Do Chelsea need a signing to beef up their attack?
It looks like Dries Mertens is going to replace one old guy, either Cavani or Willian at this point. I think it'd be a decent signing for £6 million. Not an absolute bargain, but decent business. When you mentioned about their strategy, this has obviously just been the most hilarious element of the January transfer window. Chelsea just tearing up their blueprint because that blueprint never existed. They just pushed this young players agenda thing because they couldn't sign anything other than promote their young players last summer.
Speaking of Cavani, he could still be up for grabs. PSG have rejected a €15 million offer. The French club won't sell for that price. L'Equipe report that Atletico Madrid will come back with an 18 million offer, and if that's not back, they are prepared to walk away. We'll see. David Beckham's Inter Miami now also in the mix, apparently, with an offer described as significant in AS. We'll keep monitoring that one. Reading between the lines, OTB still expecting to be an Atletico player by the end of the window.
Yeah, I would have thought that OTB sources are correct in that one. Kind of almost a perfect fit for Atletico.
Arsenal could complete the signing of Cedric Suarez from Premier League rivals Bournemouth today. The Telegraph has reported that Arsenal will pay a loan fee below £1 million with the option of signing a 4-year deal at the North London outfit at the end of his loan spell.
Southampton, I would have thought.
Can he fix Arsenal?
He can't. He needs to fix his own body at the moment. He's out injured. So there's an interesting element to this. So just looking at what David Ornstein was saying yesterday, obviously well into know with Arsenal. So he says the expectation is that they'll complete the signing of him within 24 hours, so that'll be today, loan until the end of the season, and that will earn Southampton £5 million, including full salary cover, but it'll put Arsenal in pole position to sign him this summer. So it's kind of an unusual one where they're paying for a loan deal and he's going to sit out injured for a little while. So yeah, it's one to be watched. Also as well, Arsenal completed the signing yesterday of Pablo Mari from Flamengo. And this is an interesting one because Mikel Arteta indicated that he wanted a left-footed centre-back, which is quite specific and very encouraging, that this is the very type of defender that he wanted. Whereas before it's you click defender, you scroll by price, ascending, and you see the first name you recognise, and that's how they arrived at David Luiz.
Yeah, I've seen him before, he's famous. Newcastle have agreed a deal to sign Spurs left-back Danny Rose on loan for the rest of the season. What impact will he make at St James's Park?
What a boring transfer, isn't it?
It's a good signing.
It is a good signing for Newcastle.
Fair play to Newcastle, because I thought Newcastle were a basket case. I thought Steve Bruce was going to bring them down, but he's done an excellent job.
He has, in fairness. He's an easy guy to take the piss out of, Steve Bruce.
Well, he hasn't done a good job for quite a while, and he did a good job here.
We have to applaud him. He was the perfect Mike Ashley sort of manager. Maybe there'll be new owners this year. Maybe this will be the last Mike Ashley signing. Who knows? Manchester
United odds and ends. Man United have contacted Barcelona regarding the availability of Croatian midfielder Ivan Rakitic, according to ESPN. Get him. Get Rakitic. That would be a transformative thing if they could get him right now, wouldn't it?
He's 31 years old.
Yeah, get him in the team. He's got 3 years playing really well in the Premier League.
Yeah, he probably does, I suppose. He'd certainly be better than the options they have at the moment.
He would be a sensation for Manchester United. They would be suddenly able to keep the ball. They would win all those games against the bad teams that we expect them to win as a matter of course, because he would give them 45% minimum.
He would, of course. No question about it. He would, of course. He'd be like a stopgap solution for a couple of years, and you can't really call Rakitic a stopgap because he's a world-class talent. But
Thomas Müller has again hinted he may leave Bayern in the summer, with apparently the Premier League in the mix for his signature. No thanks. Not taking him.
If you're Manchester United, yeah, it's
it'd be the most Man United signing of all time.
Well, I can see.
Wow, Thomas Müller and Bastian Schweinsteiger reunited. The reanimated corpse of Schweinsteiger. What do we make of Robinson to West Brom and the possibility of Parrott going to Charlton on loan? Charlton are 21st in the Championship.
Yeah, well, Parrott needs to go get some football. We were talking about Lee Bowyer the other day.
He's very young. I don't know if he does. I think maybe we need to cool the jets on the Troy Parrott.
I don't think so. I think he needs to go and actually start a few games of senior football, and it doesn't need to be the Championship. It can be League One. They can get relegated to League One. He can stick with them and actually have a good season next season. Then he said Callum Robinson to West Brom. Maybe Callum Robinson will be one of these players who's just in a constant loop of getting teams promoted over and over again. Started the season in okay fashion, getting into the Sheffield United team. I think it's a decent move for him. I think being part of a winning team at the top of the table can't be a bad thing going into March, for example, from our selfish perspective in Ireland.
Right, so earlier on OTB AM, that's the end of Deal or No Deal.